This
About
conference will now be recorded.
already we are done with the relations, so we'll start discussing about the delete actions, and then we will move on to the state machines. Okay. So see here, up to AX 2012, whenever we are defining the delete actions, we used to define a separate node called delete actions. Okay, in the delete actions node, we used to define the delete actions, and then we used to work with them. Whereas coming from Dynamics 365, the delete actions are defined in a different way. The delete actions are defined in a different way. Okay. So how many types of delete actions are there? First one is none. You're not enforcing any delete action between both the tables. Let's say you have table A and table B. Let's say you have table A and table B. If you don't want to enforce any delete action, okay, between both the tables, then we will set none as the delete action. Then we will set none as the delete action. And the second one, cascade. Cascade the deletion. Let's say we have two tables, table A and table B. If and table B has the relation with table A, and if data is deleted from the table A, then data from table B also should get deleted. Then we will apply a delete action called cascade delete action. And the third one is called restricted. Third one is called restricted. Restrict the deletion. If there are records available in the child table, don't allow deleting the parent record. Then we will call it as a restricted delete action. And the fourth one is called cascade restricted. Okay, cascade restricted. So what is this cascade restricted? So see here, all the time whenever you see online or wherever you see now, you will find different definitions for them. Let's say there are three tables: table A, table B, and the third one is table C. Let's say we have these three tables, and then between table B and table C, you have applied cascade restricted as the delete action, and between table A and table B, you have applied cascade as the delete action. Now what will happen is, whenever you are deleting the record in table B, it will go and check if there is any record in table C, and then it will apply the restricted delete action. If you are deleting a record in a table A, then it will go and check what is the delete action between table B and C. If it is a cascade restricted, it will treat it as the cascade delete action. Okay, if you are deleting from the grandparent, it will recognize everything as cascade. If you are deleting from the parent, between parent and child, it will recognize the delete action as the restricted. This is cascade plus restricted. Okay, now let's go and apply them, and then we will see that. Okay, now let's say we have the customer table, we have the savings account table, we have the transactions table, and we have the card account, we have the card transactions. There are many more tables. Okay, now let me open the savings account table. Let me open the savings account table, and then if I go to the relations, I have the relation with the customer. And if I right click on this customer, and then if I go to properties, you can see what is the delete action. None. By default it is none on delete. Here we need to add the delete action in case of Dynamics 365. You can see cascade restricted, none. Okay, now what I will do is, first of all, I want to show you restricted. Okay, I want to show you restricted. So what it will do, if I am deleting the record in the customer table, it will come and check in the savings account table. If there is a record in the savings account, if there is a account, and if you are trying to delete the customer, it will not allow. It should not allow. Okay, I'm using restricted. And then I will go to this transactions table, and then I will apply. In the relations, I have the savings. In case of savings account, I will apply the on delete property as cascade. So I'm saying if the savings account is deleted, then delete the transactions as well. Okay. Now let me do a rebuild, and we will open the tables and we will check how it is working. Okay. Let me do a rebuild. Okay, build got completed successfully. Let me go and open the savings account table in the table browser, and then the transactions table and the customers table. Okay, we will open these three tables, and then we will try to delete, and then we will check. Okay. This is the savings account. Let me check. Okay, this is the account type current transactions table, and then there should be one more for customers. This is a customer. Okay, now I have the customer 1001, and for that customer, let me check if there are any savings. 1001, it's there. Now let me select this. Let me click on the delete button. Oh, it is throwing the error. Yeah, ICI customers cannot be deleted while dependent savings account exists. Okay, good. Now let me see the transactions. I have the S1001 two transactions. Now let me get back to the savings account. I have S1001. Let me click on the delete button here. It is asking for the deletion. Click on the yes. It got deleted. Now let me go to the transactions table and then check by refreshing. This is what is Cascade. Okay. So this is how the Cascade and restricted delete actions will work. Okay. This is how the Cascade and restricted delete actions will work. Now let's do one more thing. Let me minimize this. And now we will apply a small difference here. Okay. And that would be for the savings. Previously I have applied Cascade. Now I will change this. I will apply Cascade restricted here. I'm applying Cascade restricted here. And then I will go to the savings account. Okay. Here I will remove this restricted. I will apply Cascade. And let me save this. Okay. And then let me save this. Now you can rebuild again, and we will open the table browser, and we will see how the Cascade restricted will work. Where if I delete the savings account, it should go and check for the transactions, and then if there are any transactions exist, it should restrict. This is point number one. Point number two is if I delete the customer, it should delete the records in the savings account, and then it should delete the records in the transactions. Okay, that means if I am deleting from the grandparent, it should cascade the deletion. If I am deleting from the parent, it should restrict the deletion. Okay, let's see. Remember, whenever you are working with the cascade restricted, one important point is it should involve at least 3 tables. Okay, whereas if you see in few of the blogs, they will say that when you are working with the code, it will be cascade restricted. When you are working with the this one, it will be cascade, something like that, but it's not like that. Okay, whenever you are working with a cascade restricted, it should involve 3 tables. If you are applying cascade restricted to a single to between 2 tables, then it's simply a restricted deletion. Please remember. Let it build here. It takes some time. Don't worry. I think mostly today is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Mostly this week or next week we would be finishing the tables. It will take more 4 or 5 days, I can say. So once we are done with the tables, the build will be very fast. Because whenever you do the build, for tables it should get synchronized, which is why it will be a bit slower. Okay, and I can't help over it. Even if you have the high-end system, okay, because this is a high-end system with i7 octa-core processor and 32 GB of RAM. But you can see how much time it is taking. And even if you take a high-end system for synchronization, it will take a fraction of a minute or two. Okay. Now let me open the 3 tables back again. The customers, open table browser, the savings account, open table browser, and the third one would be transactions, open table browser. And now we have 3 tables. Okay, now you can see I have 1001 and 1002, and here I have 1002. For 1002 I have one record. Okay, now let me select this, click on the delete button. It says savings account cannot be deleted while dependent transactions exist. This is restricted as I am deleting from the parent. Now let me go to grandparent and let me delete this 1002 record. Click on the delete button. It is asking for the deletion. Click on yes button. It got deleted from the customers table. Now if I go to savings, it got deleted. If I go to transactions, it got deleted. This is how the cascade restricted will work. Okay, when you have three tables, table A, table B, and table C, when you are deleting from the, if you have cascade restricted between table B and table C, then it will restrict the deletion if you are deleting from the table B. And if you are deleting from the table A, it will be cascade. Okay, please remember this is about the delete actions, and these are very, very important. These are very, very important. Please remember this. Okay, now the next one is about the state machines. Okay, we will move on to the state machines. So what is a state machine and why do we implement this? What is a state machine and why do we implement this? This is the biggest question that everyone will get. So see here, coming to the state machine. A state machine is a system which will have a number of states, and from one state to another state there will be a transition. It can move from any state to any state at any given point of time. Okay, it's all based on the decisions. Okay, and frankly speaking, the state machines are mainly used in games. State machines are used in games, but the same state machine concept, they want to bring into the workflow as well. In Dynamics 365, what they have done is the same state machine concept they want to bring to the workflows as well, which is why they brought a concept called state machine here. Okay, for example, for example, let me do one thing. Instead of I download and show you the image, let me open the Chrome and let me see. Let me download some images and show you how the state machine will look like. Okay, state machine. Let me go to images. Okay, now well, this is one example. Okay, this is one of the case. Copy image and let me paste it over here. Okay, now I want to ask you. So this is a state machine. What does this state machine contains? This contains three states: one, two, three. The game can remain in any one of these three states. The game can remain in any one of these three states. How many transitions are there? One, two, three, four. There are four transitions. By default, the game is in a stopped state, which is nothing but your over. You can consider that. When the player clicks on the start button, it will go to running. The game is in a running state now. If the player clicks on the pause button, it will go to the paused state, game paused. When the user clicks the resume, then it will go to game running again. If the game player dies, it will do game over. So how many transitions? The initial transition is player clicks start. Start is the initial transition. Intermediate transitions are pause and resume. Pause and resume. What is the intermediate state? It can be running or paused. What is the final state? Game over. Initial state, again it's the game over. Here itself it is starting. So final state will be game over. The intermediate state is game paused. Okay, and then you have the game running. So now this is how a state machine is organized. A state machine is divided mainly into two different types. Okay, is divided into two different types. One is called infinite state machine. One is called infinite state machine. What is the infinite state machine? Infinite state machine is a cyclic in nature. Okay, irrespective of what you are doing, it is going to continuously trigger. Yeah, infinite state machine will continuously trigger automatically by itself. The second one is called finite state machine. So see here, infinite state machine we will not have in Dynamics 365. In Dynamics 365 only finite state machines are there. Okay, so what is a finite state machine? What is a finite state machine? The finite state machine, as the name indicates, the states are finite and it is not cyclic in nature. It is not cyclic in nature. Okay. So what makes the difference between both of them? As I told you, infinite means it will be cyclic and it will be again continuously moving on. Okay. It will automatically revoke it by itself. Whereas the finite, they can have any number of possible states, and at any given point of time, it will be in any one of the state. Okay, remember the state machine cannot be in two states at a time. Can a game be in a paused and running state at a time? Both not possible. Either it can be in running, or either it can be in paused, or either it can be in game over. Similarly, a state machine can be only in one state at a time. Okay, please remember this. This is very, very important. Okay, now coming to the finite state machine, it will have a set of states. It will have a initial state. It will have a set of conditions for transitioning between states, and then it can have a final state, which is important. Okay, it will have a final state. Now you can see here, you can consider this one itself. It has how many states? 1, 2, 3. How many transitions? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how a state machine is there. And similarly, if you want to consider, you can consider one more. Yeah, and you can see here. Let me take one more example. 1 second. This seems to be a coin box. Locked, coin, unlocked, push. This is for a coin box. Locked and unlocked, only two states. Push, coin, two transitions. And then similarly, this is a simple state machine indicating a switch. Okay, it has how many states? Two states, either off or on. When the button is pressed, it will go to off. When the button is pressed, it will go to on. The same button. This is a state machine. This is a state machine for switching on a bulb. Okay. Similarly, you can see there will be again more number of state machine examples here. You can see there will be a lot of examples, not one or two. Okay. Now you can see this is a order state machine. He's saying, let's see what is that. Okay. Now what he has done, he is creating the order. It can be cancelled. Okay. Processing. After processing, it can be cancelled. After paying, it can be cancelled again. Processing, it can go to cancel. Finally, possible options. And if processing is successful, then it will be shipped and it can be delivered. How many want to? But in between transitions, he has not given it clearly. But he has given a simple state machine. Like this, you can see there will be a lot and lot of state machines. Okay, because nowadays they are using as I told you, they are using state machines in games. You can see for chatbot as well, he has made a state machine. This is for a switch. Like this, you can see off, flick, on, entry by turn light on. Again, if you click exit by turn light off, this is how it works. Okay, so state machines are nowadays very popular, and the state machines we are going to use in workflows. And before going to the state machine, I want to explain you one more example, a real-time example that we use in Dynamics 365. Okay, now see this image. I want you to tell me how many states and how many transitions are there in this state machine. What's the difference between state machine and workflow as a functional aspect? Okay, see here, functionally, if you ask me the difference between a state machine and a workflow, state machine is not going to work all the time. Okay, if you have only the movement between multiple states, okay, from one state to another state, if it should move, you can write that piece of code. Whereas if you have a complex design of the workflow, then state machine you cannot use all that. Okay, it can be used for simple requirements. For complex requirements, you need to write the code again, which is why if you see the purge workflow, all those are not with the state machines. Okay, let me show you the state machines. 1 second. But okay, let me check. because state machines I saw them very rarely used. So 1 second, let me check few tables. Okay, I want to just see whether it is being used or not. No state machine here. No state machine, because as I do remember, most of the places I did not see these people using this state machine. Let me go to purge table. One second. VOCH Let me check. No, you can see here in most of the places they have not used it, but the concept is introduced, which is why I want to just discuss how to work with the state machines. Okay, because for complex things you cannot use this. Only for simple things, whenever you are doing the transitions, no, a simple transitions, then we can use this. Okay, this is one of the example. Now you can see this is for a sales order. Okay, this is for a sales order. Now the user will create a new order. The user will create a new order, and then he will click on the complete button, and then the order is ready now. So once the order is ready, there are two possibilities. The item can be an inventory item, or the item can be a non-inventory item. Non-inventory means you went for lunch here, that's a non-inventory item. You are getting some tea, that's a non-inventory item. For them, the order will get completed and invoiced automatically. Let's say if it is an inventory item, then comes into the picture something called warehouse. They will go to the warehouse, and warehouse is going to report the order is available and it is packed, and then the warehouse will report the order is shipped, and then the order will be invoiced. Now I want you to tell me how many states are there and how many transitions are there in this order. How many states? How many states? Please speak out here. How many states?
Six.
How many?
Six.
6 or 7?
Seven.
Okay, 7 states. New, ready, complete, warehouse, packed, shipped, invoice. How many transitions?
Seven.
No. In one way, you have 3 transitions: new, ready, complete, invoiced. Okay, click complete button. Transition 1. Non-inventory items. Transition 2. Invoice order. In the second way, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you need to check 2 ways here. In one way, you have 3. You are counting directly because this is invoiced order, invoice order. Both are same. It is coming from the other place, but the transition will be similar. Okay, so you can say in one order it will be 6, in one order it will be 3. Okay, done. This is about a state machine. Now to work with a state machine, we need one example. So what we will do is I will consider a simple example of employee expense. Okay, I will consider a simple example of employee expense. So in this employee expense, what will happen? We should have, I think some of you might be the employees. So what you will do, whenever you do a certification or do something, okay, you will apply for the reimbursement. After applying the reimbursement, what are the possible things that will happen? What are the possible things here? What are the possible things that can happen? Either your manager can approve, either your manager can reject, either your manager can raise a change request. Is that right? So there are multiple options here. He can do any one of them. Okay, so what we need to do now? We need to create a state machine for this. How to do that? To do that, we need to know. First of all, let me create one table. Let me call the table as ICI employee expense. Okay, this is the table, and I want to add the fields. The first field would be employee ID. Okay, the first field would be employee ID, or you can also call it as the personal number. And for that, we have a table called HCM worker. Okay, what is the table name? HCM worker. So I will use the record from there, so that I can get the foreign creation. I have the HCM worker now, and then amount. How much amount you are applying the expense for, and then expense type, and then expense Status. Please remember, coming to the state machines, you can use mark only with the enumerated fields. Okay. Now expense type. What are the possible expense types? By default, the first value is none, as I told you. The second one would be travel. The third one would be medical. The fourth one can be certification. And then you can add the food. Like this, you can add any number of you want. Okay. I'm adding this 4. Expense status. By default, it will be not submit. Okay. I will set to none at the beginning. Or if you want to set to not submit, you can do that. There is no need of none as well here. By default, it will be not submit. From not submit, it can go to submit. Okay. Now you have submitted the expense. Your manager is good. He will approve. He is a bit good. He will raise a change request. He is bad. He will reject. And what is the other possibility? Submit. Okay, he raised a change request, but you don't like it. You can cancel. Okay, you can cancel. Now, these are the things that we need to create. Let's go and create them. Okay. Now, let me create the base enums first of all. We will follow the process and we will create the base enums. I will create a new data type, a base enum. I will call it as ICI expense statuses. ICI expense statuses. Okay. And in this expense statuses, we'll start with not submit and then we'll end with completed. We will add one more here. At the end, we will add completed. Okay. Now, new element, go to properties, set it to not submit. The label will be not submit or not submitted. If you want to add it something like this, you can do that. The second one will be submit. Okay, submitted. The third one will be approved, or you can call it as approved or approved, whatever it can be. Okay, approved. The fourth one can be change request. Okay, the fourth one can be change request. The fifth one can be rejected. It can be rejected. And then cancelled. Cancelled. And then the last one can be completed. Okay, completed. Done. This is one enumeration. The second enumeration is the employee expense type. Okay, so let me create a new base enum and let me call it as ICI expense types. Click on the add button and right click on the new element, properties, and then none, label, none, and then let me call it as put. Okay, the label can be put here. The label can be food here, and then this can be travel, and this can be travel, and we can create one more. We can call it as certification. We can call it as certification, and if you want anything else, you can add it here. I am adding this for only. Okay, so like this we have defined. The next step would be create a table. Okay, click on the add button, new item, and then go to data model, create a table, and let's call this as ICI employee expense. Click on the add button. Done. We have created a new table now. Okay, done. Now in this table, as I told you, we need to add few fields here. So let me check. As I do remember, there should be something called HCM worker EDT. Let me check. Extended data types, HCM worker. Oh no, I forgot this. 1 second. Let me check. Personal number, it will be a string. Personal number will be a string. So I'm thinking, just give me a second. Okay, let me do one thing. Instead of this, I can create a new EDT. That would be best. Okay. And I can call this as ICI worker ID. Okay. Or ICI worker. Click on the add button. And then this, oh, sorry, just a second. Okay, let me go to the data types and then I will take integer 64. I will call this as ICI worker. Okay, click on the add button. It will add a new record for us. And in this, I will go to the properties. And here you can see there will be a property called reference table. I will add HCM worker. Oh, what is this here? I'm not getting HCM worker. Why? There is one specific reason for this. If I go to data model, tables, and if I go to HCM worker, you can see it's in personal core. Okay. So whatever we need to do is we need to go to Dynamics 365, model management, update model parameters, select the ICICI, click on the next button here, and then select personal core. Otherwise, it will throw error. Please remember this. You need to select personal core, next, finish. Done. Okay. If there are any other models you need to refer to, it will let us know. Once done, click on the finish button. It will take a minute of time and then it will get back because it should update the details of the model. Okay, done. Now I have applied HCM worker. Now in the table references, new table reference, ICI worker equal to related field. I will take record ID. Done. Save. Okay, I'm done. Now go to employee expense from the solution explorer. You have created ICI worker now. Drag and drop to this one. Add the foreign key relation with HCM worker. Right click, properties, and this is your worker. Done. Now create the other fields. Right click on the new and then a real field. Go to properties. Hey, I'm typing directly. You need to create EDT. Please remember, I'm calling this as the amount. Label, I will set as the amount. And for worker, I will set as the employee ID. That's it. Okay. Similarly, you can drag and drop two base enumerations. Okay, I'm not following the best practices, but you need to follow. Please remember. Okay. ICI account types. Go to properties and update it to account type. Sorry, that should be expense types. Okay, expense types, go to properties, set it to expense type. Okay, and then you can add expense type here, and this is the expense status. A field can hold only one value, so I'm making it singular. Done. Save. Well, this is how we are going to create, and there is no unique index in it. If you want to add some unique index, you can add employee expense ID and you can make it unique. Okay, and in the field groups, let me create a new group, and then let me call this group as overview, and let me drag and drop all these fields to it. Now, generally, this is how we do. So if you want to create a new field group and if you want to create them, you can do that. Okay, now we are done. Now we are done up to here. Now let's come to the next step. What is the next step? State machine. Now in the state machine, right click on the new state machine. You can give here a good name for it. I will call it as employee expense state machine. Okay, or you can say EMP EXP state machine. Done. And you can call it as employee expense state machine. Okay, done. Now in this, by default, it is expecting a new state. Okay, for this new state, you can see here you have the state time. I will say it as the initial state. So what will be the initial state? The initial state will be, oh, what is this? I am not getting anything. I need to define the enum. Yeah, data field. What is the data field I need to select? Expense status. Okay, expense status. Click on the new state. You can see here what is our first state? Initial, and you can set it to not submit. Done. Okay, if you ask me how will you create a state machine, I will say first of all I want to take two states. One is the initial state and the second one is the final state. Okay, because whenever I am doing the transition now, that would be easier for me. Okay, the final state is completed. Please remember, keep at least one final state. Okay, completed. Done. The next step, transition. Now you can see you have the state transition. To create the transition, I need to create few more states. Let me create them. How many are there? I don't remember. Approve, reject, change request, cancel. One more should be there. Okay, like this we need to define. From not submit, okay, let me add, this is the intermediate state and this is approved. This is also an intermediate state and this is change request. This is also an intermediate state and this is rejected. This is also a intermediate state and this will be cancelled. Okay, from not submit, where all places you can go. Okay, from not submit, where is submit here? I missed one more. 1 second. I need to define one more state. Okay, and this will be your intermediate state and we will call this as submit. Okay, you can keep it in any way, but I am organizing so that you can understand it easily. From not submit, we need to create a transition, and using this transition it can go to submit. This is one thing that it can do. Okay, I will say submit transition, and here you can add the label if you want, submit. And from not submit, you thought the amount is only 200 rupees, which is very less, so you have submitted, so you have cancelled it. Okay, before submitting itself. Okay, either you can go to submit or you can go to cancel, that's up to you. So this will be cancelled transition and you can call it as cancelled or cancelled transition, that's up to you. And you have submitted. After submitting, it can go to new state. Okay, using the transition. So using transition, it can go to approved. This is the best case scenario. It can go to new transition. This transition can be approved, change request. This is a better case scenario. It can go to rejected. This is a worst case scenario. Okay, this is a worst case scenario. Okay, next, from approved, where can it go? You can create a new state transition. From approved, it can go to completed. This is the possible chance. Okay, from change request, it can go to again not submit or resubmit. If you want to create one more in a value called resubmit, then you can go to resubmit. Okay, So here we are going to the initial state, but as I told you, this is not an infinite. It will not allow you to navigate to initial state. Okay, you can see that error if you want. So what I will do is I will define one more value in this enum. Okay, because it will not allow you to navigate to the initial state. Because if you navigate to initial state, what it means? It means you're having infinite workflow. Okay, infinite state machine, but that's not possible. So I will call it as resubmit, and you can call it as resubmit, and then save this. And now in the transition to state, you can add. Okay, I did not get it because it should get refreshed. Okay, actually you need to again refresh the enum here. So what I will do is I will take to the submit itself. Okay, but generally what we will do is we'll add one more called resubmit, and then we will use it. Please remember. Now in the employee expense, I have added submit. So after the change request, again it should go to resubmit, which is nothing but the not submit state. But I am adding submit here. Please remember, we should not add submit. Instead of this, we should have resubmit. Okay, because if I need to navigate to the initial state which is not submit, it will not allow me. Or let me try one more time. Okay, 1 second. Let me add resubmit itself to avoid confusion. Otherwise, if you think submit means it will directly go to the manager, so let me add resubmit. I think this is the good way because I don't want to confuse you people here. I will create a new state, and this will be the intermediate state. I will call it as resubmit, and then save. Okay, and let me take this resubmit after submit. Okay, now this will be transition to the state resubmit. Okay, I think this makes more sense. Okay, so in the resubmit again, the employee should submit it back again. Okay, resubmit means it will go to the employee back again. So again, he will update the status and he will change it. And then change request, rest, it can go to resubmit. And then after resubmitting, from resubmit, you don't want, yeah, you told, oh, you are giving only 50% of the amount. So I don't want to submit it back again. So I want to cancel. Okay, you raised the expense for how much money? You raised it for 5,000. He told I will pay 2,500. You told I want to cancel. I don't want your money. Okay, this is what happens. Then rejected. From rejected, it can go to completed because after rejecting, you can't do anything. Okay, other than raising the grievance, you can't do anything else. So it will go to completed. It will go to completed. Done. From cancelled, it will go to completed. To the final state. Copy, paste, paste. Done. Okay, this is how it is the state machine will work. Well, from completed again, what few of the people did is they will again go to not submit, but that is not possible. Please remember. Okay, next. Now we are done with the state machine. Now after creating the state machine, first of all do a rebuild. So after doing a rebuild, you can generate the classes for the state machine automatically. Do you know that? If you want to write some piece of code, okay, if you want to write some piece of code to get the state changes automatically, then you need to write some piece of code. How to write that piece of code? There is no need of you creating a classes and writing it. The state machine will generate automatically for you. Okay, if you create a state machine correctly, it will generate everything automatically for you. So let's see that. So once the build is finished, I will show you how it will work. Just a second here. Let's wait for the build to finish. Okay, seems like build got finished successfully. Now right click on your state machine and you can see generate button. Click on the generate. If everything goes fine, it will generate the classes. Otherwise, it will throw errors. Let's see. Seems like it has generated. Now let me go to the application explorer, and then I don't want to go with this view. Instead of this, I will go with modal view, and then now let's go to ICICI. You can see ICICI here. Expand code classes. Can you see this? Did I create any class? No. All these classes are created automatically by itself. Enter event arcs, exit event arcs, transition event arcs, state machine. Okay, you can view the code of each of them and you can understand that. Okay, because it will be very easy. Let me show you. Let me open all of them and then I will show you. You can try it out, yeah, because I will explain you anyways workflows completely, but you can try it out with the state machine as well. Okay, now you can see here it has a data entity. It has created an ICA employee expense entity, and it is going to use that. Enter state. What is the enter state? It is returning the expense status for you. Exit state. What is the exit state? Enter means it will be initial. Exit means final. Similarly, it has got the exit event arcs. When you are exiting, what should be done? When you are entering the state machine, what should be done? What are the states that it should return? Okay, it will apply here. And here, this is the key class, the state machine. Delegate void enter. When this is entered, when the state machine got entered, you can subscribe to this delegate and you can update the data as you need. When it is exit, when there is a transition from one event to another event, one state to another state, what should be done? That we will use this delegate. Okay, so it has provided us the delegate. For the delegate, we need to create a subscription. In that subscription, we will write the code. Okay, but please remember, you can't write the complex piece of code for this. Okay, it would be, I can say, if you ask me, oh, is it not possible? I will say it's possible, but we will not do that generally because it will be a bit a different way. Okay, writing the code for state machines in like this is a different way. Okay, and it is going to create all the methods, whether it is a valid transition or invalid transition, for update and for getting the state and generating the label ID. For all those things, it is going to generate one method for each of them, even for the next states as well. It will store the next states and it will pick the state whenever necessary from that list. Okay, so this is how we create and generate the classes for state machine. Okay, yeah, that's it for today, yaar. Now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any queries in delete actions and state machines.
Yes, sir. First, thank you for the great session. It's amazing.
Huh?
Yeah, I thank you for the great session. Sir, regarding the state machine, the concept is clear, and the element objects, the link we did, everything is fine. But the image is still not clear as long we didn't use it in interface in the
That
UI.
actually, yeah, that's right. You need to practice and you need to try it once, then only it will be clear. Okay,
We
because
can't like the next class to just use it in practical way on client interface.
yeah, that's what you need to do is you need to have a try. Because for me, actually, I know about all this, so creating the classes and everything will be done in a blink. But for you, you need to practice and then you need to implement at one point of time. Okay, I will show you how to implement the workflow. Don't worry,
But
that
I
part I will
mean,
take care.
after this, what the next step after this?
No, not in the next session. It will take some time. because you need to know how to write the code. Currently, you don't know how to write the code. You know only about the tables. Okay. So once I explain you the code, I will explain the workflow. I will show you one end-to-end, how to start and how to finish. Okay. I will take the same employee expense and I will show you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. That is also there in your syllabus. In one of the module, we'll be discussing the whole workflows. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Thanks all for the session. Let's meet again tomorrow same time. Thank you all. Bye.